That's where we're showing you Anthony
Man.
Davis.
This is bad, man. I already got my boy fired. Love you, Nico. Merry Christmas. It's time to do a full rebuild down in Dallas.
As you said at halftime.
Yeah,
So, I
time
mean,
to do a full rebuild.
Already.
Yep. Already?
Christmas Day is supposed to be about joy, family, good vibes, and unforgettable moments. But for Dallas Mavericks fans, it turned into a total disaster. What should have been a showcase turned into deja vu. Anthony Davis limping off the court again, clutching his leg again, and this time, Charles Barkley didn't hold back for even a second. The moment AD went down, Chuck dropped one of the coldest lines of the entire NBA season. He straight up said AD's injury problems were the reason his boy Nico lost his job. And then, with that signature Barkley grin, he wished him a Merry Christmas on live TV while AD sat on the bench getting treatment. Savage doesn't even begin to cover it, but Chuck wasn't done. Not even close. What he said after the game might completely change the direction of this franchise, and honestly, if Dallas is smart, they'll listen.
I got all the AD, maybe even Kyrie and Klay Thompson. It's time to start over and build around Cooper Flagg.
Let's set the stage. This was supposed to be Cooper Flagg's breakout night, the Christmas Day debut of the #1 overall pick. The kid was about to share the spotlight with Steph Curry and the Warriors on national television. The Mavericks came into the game with a 12-19 record. Not great, but fans had finally started to feel a little hope. AD had strung together a few healthy games. The defense was clicking. And for the first time since Luka left town, Dallas fans were beginning to believe again. For the first quarter and a half, things actually looked promising. Dallas was hanging tough. AD was locking in defensively, and the energy felt different. Then, out of nowhere, it all crumbled. With about 8 minutes left before halftime, AD was running in transition when something clearly went wrong. His expression said it all. He slowed down, limped straight to the bench, and that was it. Groin spasms. Done for the night. 11 minutes. That's all he lasted. On Christmas Day, in front of millions of viewers hoping to see if this Dallas experiment could finally work. AD finished with just 3 points and 3 rebounds from your supposed franchise cornerstone. The same guy you traded Luka Doncic for. 3 points in 11 minutes before his body gave out again. And Charles Barkley? Oh, he was watching all of this live from the studio, and he couldn't stay quiet. The moment AD sat down, Chuck went in. You could see it in his face. This wasn't about one bad game. It was about everything that's gone wrong in Dallas since February.
On paper, Kyrie, AD, and Cooper Flagg, that looks really good, brother.
Looks really old and unhealthy. Well, you know what? They're not one of the 4 best teams in the West, Shaq.
After the final buzzer, Barkley didn't pull any punches. He said Dallas needs to blow it up. Forget patching holes. Start over completely. His words were clear. Trade Anthony Davis. Trade Kyrie Irving once he's healthy enough to have value. Trade Klay Thompson. Trade everybody. The only untouchable piece should be Cooper Flagg. And when you really think about it, Chuck might be right. He pointed out the one thing that should terrify every Mavs fan. This roster isn't just struggling, it's aging. And in the NBA, old and injury prone are the 2 words no front office wants to hear together.
Well, I think a good way to do it is kind of like the way Kevin Durant was brought into the league. He was brought in, and Ray Allen was there, kind of on his last of Ray Allen, and being the go-to guy. So now he even though he's getting 27, 29, when you have an AD and when you have a Kyrie for that 1 year, you don't have to have that pressure of you're learning the game, and you don't have the pressure of being the guy that they're double teaming every night, and it could stunt your growth. So I think doing that would probably help him.
Yeah, but I would like to see those guys.
I want to see it. I'd like to see it in the second half of the season.
At least 30, 40 games, to see what
it looks like.
I don't. I think you start to rebuild because they don't have any draft picks.
Anthony Davis is 32 and can't stay healthy. Kyrie Irving is 33, still recovering from a torn ACL. Klay Thompson is 35, clearly past his prime. These aren't the cornerstones of a contender. They're reminders of what used to be. You can't build a 2025 championship dream around players whose bodies are breaking down before your eyes. And here's the kicker. Dallas doesn't even own their first-round picks from 2027 to 2030. They gave all those away chasing that mythical super team around Luka Doncic. Now they're stuck in basketball purgatory. They're not good enough to compete, but with no picks to rebuild. Brutal. So what's left? The only real path forward is to trade these vets while they still have any value left. Flip them for assets, even if the returns aren't pretty. because if Dallas waits any longer, those players' trade value will drop to zero. Barkley said it best, it's time to stop pretending and start rebuilding. Not everyone on the panel agreed with Chuck's blow-it-all-up plan. Kenny Smith actually stepped in with a fair argument, and it made some sense. He brought up how Kevin Durant came into the league surrounded by vets like Ray Allen, guys who could take the pressure off a young star finding his way. KD didn't have to carry the franchise from day one. He learned, he grew, and he thrived with experienced players guiding him every step of the way. Kenny's point was that Cooper Flagg could benefit from that same setup. Keeping AD around, even if it's just for one season, means opposing teams can't just double-team the rookie every trip down the court. It gives Flagg space to develop without being crushed by the weight of a whole franchise on his shoulders. Shaq agreed too. He said he wants to see this team at full strength before throwing it all away. Give them 30 or 40 games healthy, he said, and then judge. Now sure, that sounds logical on paper, but the problem is the assumption behind it. When has this team ever been healthy? Anthony Davis has missed big chunks of every single season he's played. This year alone, he's barely cracked 15 or 16 games. Kyrie's been sidelined since March with that brutal ACL tear. Expecting this squad to magically get healthy and find chemistry is more of a dream than a plan.
If those guys went to another team, they could help them because the East is wide open. There's a couple teams in the West. Obviously, we know who the best teams are. But if I'm in the Eastern Conference, we got my man C.J. McCollum down in free C.J. y'all.
From DC.
Come on, free C.J. Free C.J. is a hell of a player. He can help. He can make a team a contender.
I think there's going to be a bunch of guys that you see move it's going to kind of change the landscape.
Well,
entirely.
I think there's Trae Young, Ja Morant, Zion.
You throwing Giannis in there?
Well, Giannis is interesting because he wants to go to New York.
How do you know that?
Because he said it, fool.
He said he didn't say I
Yes,
want
he
to
did.
He didn't say it.
Yes, he did.
Say I
Yes,
want to go.
Maybe he
did.
said it to Chuck in private.
No, he wants to go. He wants to
They
go to
said
New
it.
York.
He didn't say it.
He did say that.
He did buy a house down this.
But there's nothing in New York. Don't have anything.
And that's exactly why Chuck brought up Nico Harrison. That comment wasn't random at all. There's a deep backstory here that most people completely missed. Nico was the GM who pulled the trigger on that trade. The one that sent Luka Doncic out of Dallas in exchange for Anthony Davis. He was the guy who believed AD could bring experience, defense, and leadership to take the Mavs over the top. But from the moment that deal went down, Dallas fans lost their minds. Every home game after that, the Fire Nico chants echoed through the arena. Win or lose, it didn't matter. It became part of the Mavericks soundtrack. The American Airlines Center turned into a protest zone. Then, on November 11th, after a miserable 3-8 start to the season, the team finally caved. Nico Harrison was fired, gone, less than a year after making the biggest swing of his career. But here's where things get messy. Chuck actually defended him. He went on air and said straight up, "My friend got screwed." He claimed Nico became the scapegoat for a decision the entire organization approved. And honestly, he's not wrong. There's no universe where a GM trades away a superstar like Luka Doncic without ownership's blessing. Patrick DeMont, the team's governor, had to sign off. But when things fell apart, only Nico got the blame while everyone else hid behind the curtains. And what exactly fell apart? Everything that could. A D went down almost immediately after arriving. Kyrie tore his ACL in March. The whole plan was built on having tough, defensive-minded veterans who could lead a deep playoff run. Instead, they got constant injuries, long rehab stints, and empty promises. So when Barkley saw AD limping again on Christmas Day, it all clicked. This was the same nightmare that cost Nico his job, the same injuries, the same frustration, the same false hope, and once again, nothing's changed. Let's be honest, the concerns about AD weren't exactly a secret. Everyone in the league knew the risk. Nobody questioned his talent. When healthy, Anthony Davis is a top-tier big man. He dominates both ends of the floor, protects the rim, knocks down jumpers, and changes games just by being out there. But that's the problem. When healthy has become the most exhausting phrase in basketball. Look at his career. He's never played a full season. Every year, it's something new. Shoulder, groin, calf, ankle, you name it. His body has practically been a medical chart. This season alone, he's already missed 14 games with a calf strain, and now he's out again with a groin issue. Last season, he got hurt in his very first game as a Maverick. He played great in the first half, looked like the savior Dallas wanted, then pulled an abductor and missed 18 straight games. And it's the same story on repeat, and fans knew it from day one. That's why the frustration in Dallas runs so deep. Not because they don't love the team, but because they've seen this movie before. And somehow, the ending never changes. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic is out in Los Angeles putting on a show. The man is averaging over 34 points per game, already played 22 games, and has the Lakers looking like a completely new team. He's putting up MVP numbers like it's nothing. For Dallas fans, watching that has to sting like crazy. They gave up a guy who suits up every night, competes like his life depends on it, and delivers highlight after highlight. All for a player who can't stay on the court long enough to build chemistry. No matter how talented Anthony Davis is when he's healthy, the gap in availability between him and Luka is massive. That's the real heartbreak here. This trade wasn't just bad because of who Dallas lost. It's bad because of what they got back. They didn't just trade a superstar, they traded dependability for fragility. A D's body just can't handle the grind of an NBA season anymore, and it's showing game after game. But here's the silver lining in all this chaos. Cooper Flagg is him. When AD went down on Christmas Day, the kid didn't flinch. He didn't look scared. He didn't fade into the background. He took over. Flagg scored 10 points in the second quarter alone, keeping the Mavs in it while the rest of the team was flat. His final stat line was unreal. 27 points on 13 of 21 shooting, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and a block, all in just 36 minutes. That's not rookie stuff. That's big-time basketball. And those numbers, they put him in historic company. Cooper Flagg became the first rookie since Pete Maravich in 1970 to drop at least 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists on Christmas Day. The only other rookie ever to do it? Oscar Robertson. That's some legendary company right there. Oh, and he also became the youngest player to suit up on Christmas since LeBron James in 2003. Let that sink in. The last teenager to shine on this stage was LeBron, and now Flagg's doing it with confidence and flair. Over his last 12 games, Flagg's been averaging 25-plus points on 54% shooting. Numbers that scream star power. He even dropped 33 against Denver right before Christmas. The kid's learning on the fly, adjusting to the league in real time, and he's already looking like the future face of the franchise. This is exactly why Barkley's been yelling for Dallas to stop living in the past and build around Flagg now. He's just 18 years old, but plays with the mind and composure of a veteran. His instincts are elite, his reads are sharp, and his ability to slice through defenders and finish through contact is already next level. This is a once-in-a-generation foundation piece. So why surround him with veterans whose bodies keep breaking down? Trade them, get draft picks, grab hungry young players, and give Flagg the keys. The future's already on the court every night. Dallas just needs to stop pretending it's still 2020. Barkley spelled it out loud and clear. He said the Eastern Conference is wide open. Teams over there are desperate for a boost. Imagine how many would jump at the chance to add AD or Kyrie for a playoff push. The Mavs could get real value back if they move fast. And honestly, the math checks out. What's the point of keeping a core together if they never actually share the floor? You're just burning money, wasting seasons, and fooling yourself. Barkley's been around this league for decades. He's seen dynasties rise and crumble, and he knows the difference between a rebuild and pure denial. Right now, Dallas looks like a team lying to itself. The Luka trade was a flat-out disaster, and at this point, that's not even up for debate. The numbers, the injuries, the missed chances, it all points to one truth. The Mavericks bet their future on the wrong guy, and the bill has finally come due. The return from that massive trade was flat-out disappointing. The main piece they got back, Anthony Davis, has barely been able to contribute because his body just keeps breaking down. And Chuck's point about AD getting Nico fired, that wasn't some throwaway joke. It was the truth. Those constant injuries flipped a risky but somewhat defensible trade into a full-blown catastrophe. Someone had to take the fall, and unfortunately, that person was Nico Harrison. But firing Nico doesn't solve a thing. It doesn't magically make AD's body durable again. It doesn't speed up Kyrie's recovery. And it sure doesn't make this roster any younger or healthier. The same issues keep showing up night after night, staring the Mavericks right in the face. The only logical move left now is to stop pretending and start building for the future. And that future has a name, Cooper Flagg. This kid is different. Everyone sees it. Even Steph Curry said it himself after the Christmas game. The league is in good hands with Flagg. That's coming from one of the greatest players ever. The potential is there. The flashes of greatness are already showing, and Dallas finally has something worth believing in again. But that bright future only becomes real if the Mavericks actually commit to it. They've got to stop chasing this fantasy world where AD miraculously plays 65 games, Kyrie suddenly returns at full strength, and the team becomes a contender overnight. That's not happening. It's a dream built on denial. Sometimes the smartest move in basketball isn't holding on. It's knowing when to let go. Knowing when to stop patching up a broken plan and start fresh. Dallas had their chance with Luka and blew it. Now they've been given a rare second shot, a chance to rebuild around Cooper Flagg, a kid who could carry this franchise for the next decade. The only question left is, are they bold enough to take it, or will they keep running it back with an old injured roster that's going nowhere fast? Chuck already gave his verdict, and honestly, he's probably right. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment, and I'll see you on the next one.